A little while ago, I had the pleasure of going to a school in New York City. It was in a very poor part of the city. And I was observing a classroom of 6 and 7-year-old children. I thought that the class would be a little bit chaotic. These are students from a very difficult part of the city. They have chaotic lives at home. But when I got to the class, I was surprised to see the students were very calm, quiet, well-behaved. I said to the teacher, "Why is this so?" And the teacher said, "Watch this. We do this every day." They call it their belly buddies. It's mindfulness for young kids. They start by having each child get their favorite stuffed animal. The child finds a place to lie down on a rug and puts the animal on his or her belly. And then the teacher leads them in watching the animal rise on the in-breath, fall on the out-breath, rise on the in-breath, fall on the out-breath. When their minds wander off and they notice it wandered, they bring it back to the next breath. This, you may recognize, is a lesson in mindfulness for young kids. Research shows that this simple exercise strengthens the circuitry in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive center, circuitry that can control impulsive behavior. It calms the child and helps them pay more attention. Research at the University of California has shown that students who do this exercise regularly get better scores on academic tests. This is very important for kindergarten students because in child development, we know that there's a dramatic shift in the brain during the ages between 5 and 7. You know, children's brains continue to grow along with the rest of their body. When you see a change in a child's behavior from age to age to age, you're seeing the outer signs of brain growth. Between the ages of 5 and 7, the prefrontal cortex becomes better able to manage impulse, particularly impulse from the emotional centers. This allows children to be better behaved. This happens naturally, but you can help a child get better at it by giving that child more practice. This connects that part of the brain more strongly. It strengthens their circuits for good behavior in a way that will help them throughout life. This is called, technically, cognitive control, and it can be taught in many ways. It's just like if you wanted your child to be a violinist, you would start that child practicing the violin and learning this early in life. The earlier the child can start, the better, because that practice is strengthening the connections between the parts of the brain that help them play the violin. And it's exactly the same with managing impulse, with being well-behaved. That part of the brain has a major development between the ages of 5 and 7, and the more strengthened that part of the brain becomes, the better behaved the child will be. I had the pleasure of visiting Sesame Workshop. This is where Sesame Street, the television show, is made. The day I went, there was no one around. I asked why. They said, well, we have a cognitive scientist coming. He's here now. He's an expert in child development. And he's talking to all the people who make our episodes, because every episode of Sesame Street is a lesson from science dressed up as entertainment for kids. One of the lessons about cognitive control is about Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster hears that there's a new club, a cookie specialist club, the Cookie Connoisseur Club. He wants to join, of course. But then he's told, well, to be a member of our club, you have to take a cookie, look to see that there's nothing wrong with it. Then you can sniff it. And then you can take a small bite. Cookie, of course, fails that test. He can't. The moment he gets the cookie, he gobbles it on the spot. That's what Cookie Monster does. But slowly, he learns to manage his impulse. He learns to hold the cookie and look at it, to sniff it, take a small bite, and he can join the club. And what this episode does is teach children about cognitive control. There's so many ways to teach it. One is something every parent does naturally when you tell a child, well, you have to finish your homework before you can play with your computer games. It's very important that children learn this lesson because it strengthens the circuitry in the prefrontal cortex that will help them not only in school, but throughout life. You as a teacher have a very important role to play here. Mindfulness, it's been found, strengthens this circuitry. But you can be a model for your students by being mindful yourself. It's been found in research at Yale University that the leader of a group, like a teacher and students, whatever that leader or teacher is feeling spreads to the students. Emotions are contagious, and they're contagious from the most powerful person to the rest of the group. And positive emotions enhance performance. Strong, upsetting emotions make performance go down. In the classroom, what this means is that students learn better when their teacher is calm and focused rather than upset and chaotic. Mindfulness helps you as a teacher manage your own moods better and be a good model for your students. And remember, as a teacher, you model by your very being. You're teaching every moment you're in front of the class.